Hey everybody, Jim here from RV into Retirement, and in this video we're going to talk to you about why we didn't get a boat, why we switched to a Class B van, and just the things that have opened up many opportunities to us by switching to the van. So in past videos we talked about that we were going to do the Great Loop, and then several things happened to the boat market since. With the price of diesel being so high, and the boat market was in a bad place to begin with. We were under contract for a boat, and we got out of that for a couple of different reasons. Subsequently, the number 2 boat builder, Katie Krogan, has filed for bankruptcy, and that just shows you how bad the market is. So we sat at home for the first time in like 6 years and just got adventure fever. We're not used to staying in Phoenix in the summer. It's blasted hot there, and we got the RV bug again. We had been following a couple many years ago called Live in Our Vision, and they talked about Grech RVs, and Grech RVs are pretty much a really nice higher end Class B. It's done the right way. It comes with a lot of things standard on it, and in the next couple of videos we'll do a full tour of all the features and everything that it has to offer. But if you followed us, we went from a Class A 30-foot gas RV that we only had for like 90 days, and we sold that, and we knew we wanted a diesel pusher, and we got a country coach, and that lasted us for about a year, and then we decided that we wanted to go full-time on the road, and that the country coach really, you can do it, but our particular model wasn't equipped for it. Then the next thing we bought was the 4 Travel, and we stayed in that almost 5 years full time. And after that, we downsized to an Airstream. We only had that about a year, so we've switched a lot of RVs, and we've tried a little bit of everything. And what the Class A diesel pusher affords you is a lot of comfort. It's like living in your home. And along with that comes very high expenses for maintaining and operating. But the almost bigger thing is, being 4 years out on the road, we stayed stationary in places more than traveled around quite a bit. And that's primarily because it was 42 feet. We were towing a Jeep with it. And it's just not conducive to having seeing all that there is to see. And that's why we decided to go to the Airstream. But we actually found that with the Airstream, I wasn't impressed with the build quality. So going from a 4 Travel, which is a high-end diesel pusher, to the Airstream, and the Airstream was very nice, other than everything had to be upgraded to feel comfortable in it. The seats were as hard as a rock. There wasn't enough cabinet space. You're still towing a vehicle, so if you see something on the side of the road and you want to stop, you really need to make sure that you can fit, and backing a trailer is a pain in the butt. So we did sell that, and our intention at that time was to get the boat. And when that fell through, like I said, we were sitting at home and just got the bug to get out on the road again. So we ended up getting a Grech RV. We got a 2025 Strata Ion. And the Strata Ion is an all-electric vehicle. So it's got a massive amount of battery and solar. So you have 1,260 watts of battery. You can run your air conditioner on it for almost 12 hours, and there's just a lot of features, and I really want to save that for another video. But what it's afforded us to do is go to smaller campgrounds. So right now we're up at Sunset Crater, which is just about 15-20 minutes northeast of Flagstaff, Arizona. And we toured around the national park here. We have a 4-week trip planned. This is our second one. The first one we did a shakedown tour, and like every new RV, we developed two problems. One was that there were two big batteries. The one battery, the battery management system wasn't reading correctly, and it read that it had capacity of like 30,000 amps or something crazy. So it was always on 99% full when in reality it wasn't. And then the second thing was our inverter charger. The charger side was not working. And so we called the factory, which is in Riverside, California. We amended our route and stopped by there. There's a beautiful campground 5 miles away from the dealer. They took care of everything. Grech, if you don't know them, has the best customer service. I mean, it's unbelievable. They take care of everything. If you go on Facebook and join the Grech RV official forum, and you will see when people run into issues, they will ship parts out to you with no questions asked. And that's so different than with our for travel, where every time something broke, we needed to go to Texas, to Nacogdoches, or up to Moscow, Iowa, to get the bladder in our slides fixed. And that's another thing. We don't have any slides. If you've had an RV with slides, you know what I'm talking about. You say a prayer every time those things are going in and out, because there's a very good chance they're not going to work. And we've dumped a lot of money into slide repair and slide bladders and annual trips, literally an annual trip to the manufacturer in Nacogdoches, because nobody else knew how to fix these things. So living in Phoenix, there's an NIRV dealer who is an approved Grech dealer, and then it's really a short 4.5 hour jaunt to Riverside to get any repairs that we need. And so the shakedown trip shook down things. We're on now picking up the trip where we left off. We're going to be going up to, today we're leaving for the north rim of the Grand Canyon. Unfortunately, it's not going to be as pretty as it used to be, because there were fires there either last year or the year before that destroyed a lot of it. Corinne just walked up, and I don't think she wants to go on camera today, but do you have any words on why you like the Class V van better than the for travel that we had?
Class B versus the Airstream. I don't know what you said. I didn't hear any of the stuff you said, so I might be repetitive. But I think for me, the class, I really like the interior. Well, I like the layout. I want to be very careful. I like the layout of the Airstream. It was comfortable layout, not necessarily comfortable like sitting arrangements. So the seats and everything were very straight. It was not high quality, and I guess it just felt the outside. You're buying the outside, you're not buying the inside. We did some modifications, which I think were good, but then we basically were selling it, so we didn't really get to enjoy those modifications. We had put a cabinet and stuff like that, so that kind of helped. But and it was easy to maintain, easy when comparing, especially to the for travel. It was easy. It was a once and done. It was funny. We'd be in our bed. It was very comfortable for that purpose, like sleeping arrangements.
You had to make it comfortable, though.
We did.
You have to buy Froley springs for under the mattress, a
Which was
mattress
expensive.
topper,
Yeah.
a lot of things. I equate it to like when we had a Harley. You get the Harley, and then you got to put all these accessories on it to make it look and ride decent.
Yeah. I mean, we put a lot of money into it. You know, it's just what you do because you want to try to make it comfortable. I think in the end, what I didn't like about it is the setup. I loved our truck. If I just could ride our truck and then somehow have slept in our truck, which I know people do, that Wally would have been great. The hookup was something I couldn't have done myself, and that's what always bugs me. I don't want to ever be in the situation where I cannot. If Jim was sick, I don't want to be where I cannot hook that up or get ready to leave and then drive it. I could drive it. I drove it. That was not a problem. But that hookup and then the decoupling it and all that kind of stuff, that is something I couldn't do. I don't have the strength to do it. So probably if I was maybe 20 years younger, I maybe would have had more strength and I would have developed that strength, but I don't have it. So I think for me, that was the big thing. The other thing is that we still didn't have the flexibility that I was looking for. I wanted to be able to do what we're doing right now, all these kind of places, go along the coastline, which we're planning on doing in this trip. We could do some of that, but then they still had limitations because we still were 28 feet plus another 20. So we were still a 40, like low 40 in length, the whole thing. Now we're 24 feet. So,
and it's literally turnkey.
It
where
is.
With the trailer or the Class A, you had to hook up the Jeep. With the trailer, you have to put your hitch on and weight distribution.
Which is
with this,
scary
you just turn your key and drive, and it's beautiful. We're sitting here. It's a no electric place. We got plenty of electricity for air conditioning if we need it. We went on our first trip 5 days without having to plug in or to get water.
Yeah.
So the versatility of that is incredible. You can do a lot of BLM land. Well, that's the other thing. Your campground charges are ridiculously low.
Yeah, because what are we paying? Like $20 to $30 a night if we're paying. Some of them are even cheaper than that.
Yeah, we have a senior pass that we've had since I turned 55. And you get half price at any National Forest campground. Mm-hmm. And so $20, we have some that are $10 a night up in Great Basin. And compare that to the for travel. First of all, you couldn't even get into this park. But you got to go to pay or private parks like a KOA or some other kind of resort, and you're paying $60, $70, $80 a night. All around, the expenses are a lot less.
Yeah, so we don't have generator, which I like because we've always had a generator, and that was the only option you had to run anything. You always had to put your generator on pretty much. But we don't have a generator. We have solar, but solar is not even the primary. I think it's kind of helps keep everything charged. We have the lithium, which I'm sure I didn't hear what Jim had said before. I'm sure you've said that. But to me, it's like the best of everything. It's small. I mean, you can see, where it's not like you have a lot of privacy, which is fine for us. The setup for our sleeping, I think I sleep better here than I do in my house. It's pretty amazing. It takes 5 to 10 minutes setup breakdown of the sleeping, but it's not that big a deal. Everything is.
Yeah, we'll go over that when we do the inside tour of the RV. But literally everything is easier. And even with the our for travel got 6 miles to the gallon, and this one gets close to 20. And so that alone is a big difference.
And then what we were getting, I'm trying to think, we were getting somewhere around, was it 13 or something with the Airstream?
Yeah.
Something like that. So we've kind of, and that helps too. I mean, it just all of it is just so much easier. It's just so much easier.
We ended up getting a really good deal on this particular van. They're not cheap vans, and we found this one in Fountain Valley, California, Mike Thompson RV, and the story, at least the story that we were told, is it came from another dealer. It only had 500 miles on it. The dealer lost their license to sell them, and so it was moved from that one particular dealer to Mike Thompson's dealer, who is now an authorized Grech dealer. And we had looked at the same one in Phoenix. It was had 32,000 miles, which is insane for a 1-year-old. A 2025 Class B van. I don't know what the heck they did with it.
We can't even figure out what they could have been doing there. They just must have.
But that's right at the edge of the warranties going. We got the full Mercedes warranty. We got the full Grech RV warranty with ours, and we got it cheaper than the one in Phoenix was being sold for.
In fact, when you offered, we made an offer. And
this is the insane thing.
We made an offer to the dealer, and they came back with a counter of less.
Have you ever heard of such a thing?
They're like, okay, we could do that.
It was insane. It was a no-brainer. And we searched high and low for them. That's the one good thing too, is all our RVs that we've had are very popular, and they have good resale ability, and they're hard to find. I mean, we were looking at one in Texas. We were looking at this one. We looked at the ones in Phoenix. I mean, we tried. We really tried to make the Phoenix one work, but the dealer, they were just out of their mind what they wanted for it. But anyway, in an upcoming video, we will give you a tour of the full outside and the full inside. But I'll do a quick walk around right now.
Did you tell them where we were in the campground?
Yeah, we're in Sunset Crater.
I know where we are, but I'm saying to tell them.
Yeah,
I'm just saying because that's.
We'll include a few clips of that if it hasn't already been included earlier in this video.
So this is the second time we've been here with the van. I love this campground.
It's a good spot to get out of Phoenix and not drive through the heat.
Yeah,
so it's going to be 112 in Phoenix today. We actually left yesterday, and we're sitting about 72 to 8,000 feet, depending where you are. It's 60 degrees out right now, and it's almost double that back home. So getting out of the Phoenix area, it's really tough to escape the deserts and not drive in the heat. So this is a good first stop. This morning, like I said, we're going to jaunt over to the Grand Canyon. We'll be staying there 2 days. Then we're heading to Zion. So stick with us to look for upcoming videos. And now let me do a quick walk around. Okay, so you can see a little bit of the campground. It's beautiful. We're within all these trees. One of the nice things was the van came pre-wired with Starlink, and it was the high performance Starlink package. You can see we fit easily into this small spot. And that's it for this week. We will see you next time. Thank you.